What's up, and welcome to the episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. Today, we're going to talk about the 5 most revolutionary laptops. So far, we've had lots of new announcements in 2022. We have new Intel GPUs, the Intel Arc Alchemist. Now, of course, this is Intel's first attempt at competing with AMD and NVIDIA, and we'll talk about this some more later on in the video. And then we have the new Intel 12th gen CPUs, which feature high performance cores and efficiency cores, allowing for better multi-threaded performance, better gaming performance, and better battery life, all in the same chip. We've got new NVIDIA RTX 3070 and 3080 Ti, which are basically more powerful versions of the existing GPUs, slightly improved. Then we have the new Ryzen 6000 series CPUs, as well as new Radeon RX 6000S series GPUs, which will allow the Radeon GPUs to go into thinner and lighter laptop profiles. And we're also getting some higher powered Radeon GPUs like the RX 6850M XT, which AMD is claiming to be 7% faster than last year's model. In addition, we're also getting some medium and lower budget GPUs from AMD, so it'll be interesting to see how much bang for the buck those GPUs provide too. One of the great things about the new year so far is that the vast majority of laptops have included a MUX switch and webcams, which were one of the biggest gripes with most of the laptops in 2021. Another trend we're seeing is more vapor chamber cooling and liquid metal applications for better thermals on more gaming laptops. All of these trends for gaming laptops in 2022 have combined to make for a very promising year indeed for the new laptops coming out. But if you're after the best deal overall in gaming laptops right now, you're probably not going to want to get one of the brand new laptops. Maybe, it all depends on the price to performance of each individual model. Most likely, in fact, you're going to want to get one of the laptops that are on sale from last year's lineup. And that's where the sponsor for today's episode comes in. So big shout out and thank you to Best Buy for sponsoring this episode and supporting me as a creator. Now, I would not take a sponsorship from Best Buy if I was not allowed to give you my honest opinion on the deals on their websites.
Now, there's going to be a link in the description down below if you want to check out Best Buy's selection of gaming laptops. They're constantly putting different laptops on sale. We're going to quickly go through the top 10 deals that I could find. Though some of them still aren't that great, if I'm being honest, and I don't know if I can recommend all of them, but there's at least 2 or 3 that I think are excellent, great choices, even giving the newest, latest tech that's on the horizon here. The key thing to keep in mind is that Best Buy has an excellent return policy, and they're constantly changing the deals available on their site, so it's always worth going and checking it out if you're in the market for a new laptop. Now, the first laptop that's on sale is the Aorus 15P with an RTX 3080 240Hz display. I wouldn't say this is a great deal. It's just okay. $1949. I think this laptop is worth closer to $1,800. The MSI Stealth 15M 144Hz display, an i7 processor. It's only a 4-core. Not amazing. I really wouldn't recommend this laptop unless it was $1,100. The Razer Blade 15 Advanced. This has the CNC milled aluminum chassis, which is fantastic. I love that, but the overall TDP and thermal designs on the Razer Blade just aren't amazing. So only get this if you want super high premium features and don't really care about maximizing your performance. The HP Omen 16. Now, this is a high bang for the buck dollar machine, probably the best bang for the buck machine on this list. You've got an RX 6600M, which is very powerful, a full 8-core Ryzen 7 5800H, 16 gigs of RAM for $1,149. Fantastic overall deal. Then we have the MSI Delta 15 240Hz display, Ryzen 7 5800H again with an RX 6700M, which is noticeably more powerful than the HP laptop, 1TB SSD. Then we have the Alienware M15R4 with an RTX 3070. Not great battery life on this unit, but $1,699. That's a pretty decent price for an Alienware with an RTX 3070. And then we have the Aorus 15P for $1,299, RTX 3060 high performance laptop. Really great bang for the buck on this one, but not quite as amazing as the Delta 15 or HP 16. The MSI Sword with an RTX 3050 Ti for $999 is one of the cheaper laptops on this list. Decent deal, great processor, mediocre GPU. I'd give this one a pass personally, but if you're really tight budget, maybe consider it. MSI GS76, 360Hz Full HD display, Windows Hello, i9 processor, RTX 3070, 32 gigs of RAM. Really love this laptop overall for its general build quality, design, feel, fit, and finish, but it is a hefty and premium price to pay. $1,800 would instantly sell me on this. This is a good deal, not an amazing deal. Alienware M15R5, you've got a Ryzen 9 5800H, 16 gigs of RAM, RTX 3070. If this was $1699, it would be an instant buy. $1799 would be a really good deal. $1899 is just okay deal. And last but not least, we have the Dell G15 with an RTX 3050 Ti. Only 8 gigs of RAM on this one, but we get the Ryzen 7 5800H, which is fantastic. 512 gig SSD, $919. Pretty good bang for the buck here if you're a fan of the Dell G15 look, design, fit, and finish and feel. So head on over to Best Buy and check out what they have on sale. Like I said, the deals may be different than the ones I discussed in this video, and I would expect Best Buy to be carrying some of the latest gen technology, likely later this week, if not next week.
So getting back to the topic at hand, what are the top 5 most revolutionary gaming laptops that I've been able to find so far in 2022? The first laptop we're going to talk about today is the Asus ROG Flow Z13. Now this new gaming tablet piggybacks off the design of the Flow X13 and the Microsoft Surface tablet, combining them all into one amazingly powerful tablet, which is so freaking cool. Now it weighs about 2.6 pounds and a little bit less depending on which configuration you get. If you opt to not have the NVIDIA GPU, it's a little bit lighter. Overall, we're talking about a ton of CPU and GPU performance baked into a tablet. Now, most tablets have very low wattage CPUs and GPUs, usually not even a dedicated GPU at all. And that's because thermals on a tablet are so difficult to keep down and keep low. And so things like iPads and Microsoft Surface, they typically have the equivalent of smartphone processors. Very low power, high efficiency that requires either a minimal fan or no fan at all. Well, to pull off such high-powered components in a slim tablet design, they've installed them behind the flap that folds back. They have thermal vents out the top and sides, connected to a vapor chamber cooler with liquid metal, and a pretty good amount of ports on this too. And to kick it all off, to make this thing just really freaking a banger of a product, you can plug in the eGPU, the same one that works on the ROG Flow X13. This not only has up to an RTX 3050 Ti GPU baked into the internals, you can also hook up an RTX 3080 or a Radeon RX 6850M inside of the Asus XG Mobile external power adapter / eGPU enclosure that acts as a dock. So super freaking cool idea that combines basically everything. I can see a lot of people really falling in love with this and upgrading from something like a Microsoft Surface. Next up, we have the MSI Creator Z17. Now typically I haven't been that impressed with the MSI Creator series because they seemed like just GS66 and 76 that were basically the same thing. Well, this is a brand new design. It features CNC milled aluminum body chassis. So this is going to be a competitor to something like the Razer Blade Pro series or perhaps the MacBook Pro series from Apple. Now this 17-inch laptop features a 2560 by 1600 16 by 10 165 Hz QHD display suitable for gaming and creative work. And did I mention that it is actually touch enabled and comes with a stylus as well, so you're going to be able to draw on this laptop. Now they're going to be offering the highest end components such as the i9 12900H and the RTX 3080 Ti, but I would caution you not to spring for the highest end configurations. We know that this chassis will have limited thermal capabilities and you probably won't see that big of performance gains between the mid-level components and the ultra high-end components. Overall, I just love that MSI is stepping into the ultra premium product category and competing with the likes of Apple and Razer. Next up, we have the Acer Swift X16. Now this is the first Intel Arc Alchemist laptop that's been announced, and it'll be arriving in April 2022. So it's not going to come out anytime soon. Intel is basically giving us a teaser of what the Intel Arc laptops are going to look like, and also kind of just hanging it out there that, hey, maybe you don't want to buy an NVIDIA or AMD based system because we're going to come out with something that's going to be really awesome and also fairly inexpensive. If you're not familiar, the Arc Alchemist lineup is Intel's first foray trying to compete against NVIDIA and AMD dedicated GPUs, and they're going to be releasing dedicated GPUs for both desktops and laptops. So you're going to have complete Intel CPU and GPU computers coming out very soon. These should be very power efficient and hopefully very powerful, but most importantly, they're going to be priced to be very competitive with NVIDIA's GPU lineup, offering hopefully more performance per dollar than you typically see with NVIDIA, and probably pretty similar in price to performance as AMD. Now, we don't really have solid performance benchmarks yet because it's not coming out for another few months, but it's something to definitely keep on your radar in case you're in the market for a new laptop. Next up, we have the revamped Zephyrus G14. Now, this year's Zephyrus G14 is going to feature an all AMD CPU and GPU lineup. We've got a ton of different improvements that I'm kind of blown away. It's kind of like they looked at everything that I criticized on the laptop and fixed it. Hopefully we don't have more problems crop up, but for the most part, I'm extremely hopeful and very optimistic that the Zephyrus G14 may be laptop of the year for 2022. Well, you're going to be able to configure it with the new Ryzen 6000 series CPUs, as well as the new RX 6800S. So this is kind of like the max Q variant of the new Radeon GPUs that are coming out in 2022 that should provide excellent performance in these thin and light laptops. The question is the pricing and availability, and I'm expecting to see different configurations and a wide range of prices. Now we've got liquid metal, a vapor chamber, an IR camera for Windows Hello, and a webcam. Oh my gosh, it's a freaking webcam on a Zephyrus laptop. I love it. Yes. We also have a micro SD card slot. I wish it was a full-size SD card slot, but it's still micro SD card slots better than no SD card slot. And then we've got a Mux switch finally. Yes, that's fantastic. That'll offer us some nice performance gains, especially in esports titles. And then we also have a QHD 500 nits 100% DCI P3 color gamut display that is a 16:10 display with very minimal bezels. In addition, we're getting a color RGB keyboard and a much larger touchpad as well. So I'm just in love with all of the changes that the Zephyrus G14 made. And the last change they made to the laptop is the animated matrix on the back is now more detailed, has higher pixels, and they are brighter, so it should be more noticeable at the same time. Overall, I'm super psyched about the Zephyrus G14, not so much being revolutionary, but it's more like the fine-tuning of an already great laptop to make it an amazing laptop. Now, arguably the most revolutionary laptop I've saved for last, and that is the XMG Neo 15. This thing is going to have active liquid cooling. So you're going to have an external base station. Now you hook up some hoses to the back of the laptop, which is just crazy. It's a quick release valve setup. So you can basically set your laptop down on the desk, plug in the power adapter, plug your mouse in, plug the water cooler in, and then you just activate it and you can have up to 30 degrees temperature reduction. And now the water-cooled heat pipe passes over the pre-existing heat pipes, working in tandem with the existing heat pipe system to reduce overall system temperatures, allowing them to push up to 175 watts to the GPU in a thin 15-inch chassis. How freaking cool is that? It's so freaking cool. That means that when you're on the go, you can still use the laptop, you can still play high performance games, still have reasonable temperatures, but you're not going to be able to push all the way up to that 175 watt limit that the GPU has. But when you get home, you plug in that water cooler, you see the temperatures drop down, and then you crank the performance up to maximum, meaning that this 15-inch laptop with water cooling will probably be the most powerful gaming laptop that you can get, or at least be equal to the most powerful laptop that you can get. In addition, we're going to have a QHD 240Hz display on this thing, which I absolutely love. And many laptops are going to be featuring these QHD 240Hz displays, so keep an eye out for that. I know the Legion lineup's going to have that. Now, my biggest criticism of this XMG water cooling system is that when you unplug it, you actually have to empty the water that is currently in the heat pipe all the way out into a bowl, and you need to be careful not to spill the coolant that's in the pipe. So if you're going to constantly be moving the laptop, you probably won't be plugging into the water cooler unless you know the laptop is going to be sitting in one place for a while. I think the only people that will bother with this type of a concept are enthusiasts seeking the maximum possible performance. But at least it definitely seems like you're going to get the maximum possible performance. Overall, 2022 is shaping up to be a great year for gaming laptops. I do think this year will be less supply issues and lower overall prices with more availability, perhaps with a handful of exceptions for the ultra popular laptops like the Zephyrus G14. I anticipate that laptop is going to be sold out non-stop, but I could be wrong. We'll have to see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. And if you want to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button. I will see you in the next one. Brandon out. Peace out.